notary on Wednesdays at 6:30, things to avoid as a notary. So some classes that you go to, you can generally spend between 100 to 500 or more for the class. One of the things that isn't really discussed is your professional liability. When you're out there doing loan signings and you're snapping pictures of people's ID with your cell phones, writing addresses, and all this information in your notary journal, you are at the end of the day responsible for keeping that information secure. And the state of Texas also says that your notary journal and stamp is supposed to be put away by lock and key. So that is up for interpretation. Um, Again, I'm not an attorney, so I can't advise you on how to interpret the law. That is something you're going to have to ask an attorney for. So if you're wondering, well, can I lock it up in my car? Well, I mean, it's locked, but at the end of the day, that's your decision. Um, of course, if someone breaks into your car, you're still responsible for whatever happens to your client's personal information. California and a couple other states require you to fingerprint your clients. And of course, with fingerprinting, that's some pretty deep personal information. Lots of things can go on with the misuse of someone's fingerprints. Texas, we are not allowed to write down the ID numbers or anything that could get tracked to the client or lead to tracking down the client. Um, but one thing that I'm going to mention that whenever it comes to liability, things that people don't really mention are something as simple as a client going to Office Max, Home Depot, things like that, which is something that I didn't know until recently, that Office Max and all those local stores, their printers actually have a memory card where everything that is scanned, printed, um, so on and so forth is actually saved into the memory of those printers. So if the store closes and they auction off those printers, all that information is stored in the memory of those printers. So if you go with client information, then clients that um, make and use like yours because uploading documents and so on and so forth, that you are getting rid of those files because you need to access the minimum of 25,000 E&O insurance. And if you are talking about becoming an online notary, online notarizations is actually covered in your policy. For a policy that is only 25,000, I'm going to, as of today, I would carry 500,000 in liability insurance or an E&O policy. Make sure that you're protected, the client's protected, and after researching how much that would actually cost to get started, it's not near as much as I thought it would be. $4 a month or $440 for the year. And emissions insurance covers loan signings is another thing. Now that I've kind of gone over my thoughts for the day, I'm going to open it up for any questions. And to ask questions, since this is not, and then of course most of y'all have my email address, and you can send me an email asking those questions as well. So, how many of y'all knew that if you take a picture of a client's ID, you're responsible for what happens after the fact? Or did you know that you're not supposed to take a picture with your cell phone? right. Well, it is 6:40, so I am going to tell y'all email me any questions that y'all have that didn't get answered or that you think of after we leave. And y'all have a wonderful night.